Welcome to Thursday Night Knives. I'm Bob DeMarco. Coming up, I'm going to show you what the November 2025 Gentleman Junkie giveaway knife is. We are going to give away, this is for anyone here who can type #knife, this super cool knife. This is the Real Steel Metamorph Fixie, a knife I've been delaying giving away because I find it so cool. But we're doing that tonight, thanks to Dave of OG Blade Reviews. And then I want to talk about steel action and lock type. I wrote or, but I meant and. Really, they're all important. What's your order of importance and why? We can banter about that. I just, like moments ago, discovered that a box was left in this room. Tim Kell sent me a box of really cool knives, so I can't wait to show those off to you. A couple of Agent 001s, a 004, a Nautilus, a Night Stalker, some cool stuff with some beautiful new colors in those handles. So we're going to show those off. And since Jim's got that up, thank you, sir. We are going to be giving away in November this knife because it drops on November 1st. This is the second run of the T-Kell Knives 001, my design collaboration with Tim Kell, the knife that started the whole series of Agent knives, which my collection has grown. Just moments ago, it grew. Look at that. Look at how beautiful that knife is. I'm not just talking about the design, which of course I'm fond of, but how beautifully machined that is by Nick Chuprin of NCC Knives. You probably know him from his exquisite and out of reach, we'll say, custom folding knives, but he does the machining for Tim, and it's absolutely beautiful. So we'll be giving this one away come November, 20th, the third Thursday of the month. Third Thursday of every month is a giveaway that's exclusively for members of the channel here on YouTube, which you can just join right down here. You can become a member here on YouTube, a Gentleman Junkie, or you can do that on Patreon. And that's TheKnifeJunkie.com/Patreon. Also, since we're talking T-Kell knives, and we'll be doing that later too, I'll be showing off some of this cool stuff. If you want to buy a T-Kell knife, why not use our affiliate link, TheKnifeJunkie.com/T-Kell, and use the coupon code KnifeJunkie. If you use the coupon code KnifeJunkie at checkout by going to TheKnifeJunkie.com/T-Kell, you get 10% off your purchase, and I get a little commission, and Tim gets a sale. So if you like these knives, it's a win-win-win. Or you could become a Gentleman Junkie or a member here on YouTube and stand to win this. So more T-Kell knives to come. I got a bundle of really cool ones in colors that makes it look like Easter, which is kind of cool. Easter, but also a stormy Easter, and you'll see what I mean. Marco, good evening to you, sir. He says, evening, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. I say to you, Marco, fine evening. Pardon me. I'm drinking a cider. Yes, it's a cider. OG Blade Reviews. Nice to have you here, sir. Dave is the man responsible, if I didn't mention it, for giving this knife to you through me, the beautiful Metamorph Fixie from Real Steel. So anyone can win this tonight. #knife. #knife in the comments or in the chat gets you on the wheel. OG Blade Review says, evening all you junkalos. Great to be here. My preference, lock type, steel, and action. And another preference I might add is handle profile. Oh, handle profile is good. I was thinking handle material. I didn't want to get too in the weeds, but handle profile is great. So what's yours? Let me know. Dave, is it neutral, or do you like lots of choils, or do you like something like this, like the Gunfighter Customs Gunfighter, where it's a little egg that just nestles into the palm of your hand? Scott, nice to have you here, Scott. Good evening to one and all. Hope you all had a great week. The weekend starts here. I love that. The weekend does start here, Scott. Thursday night. Friday and Saturday, that's for tourists. That's for the bridge and tunnel crowd. Thursday is for the dyed in the wool. Carino, nice to have you here, Carino. Carino1 says, good evening, Jim, Bob, and fellow junkies. I'm with OG tonight. Lock type first, steel, then action. Of course, steel gets a generous bump if it's a fixed blade. Interesting. Yes, I see what you mean. By the way, I'll be sparking up a Viaje Zombie antidote from the stash for tonight's show. Ooh, very nice. I've been smoking a lot of cigars recently, like finding any excuse. And I think it's partially because of my Knife Junkie Zippo, which happens to be on my humidor right now. But also for my birthday, my dad got me a bunch of nice cigars, and I've been kind of cruising through them, so I probably have to ease up. But how lovely would it be to right now just be sitting here smoking a cigar? That would be awesome. But this would be the last night I spend in this house, so can't do that. James, nice to have you here, James Hart. Greetings all. Everyone sharp and rust-free tonight, he says. Well, sir, I am sharp. I'm not so sure how rust-free. Hope you're doing well, man. Sword XXXY, good to have you here. Good day, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. Good day to you, sir. And he is also a gentleman junkie. And if he happens to win one of these knives, I will have to dull the top. On November 20th, if he wins, before I send it to him, I'll have to dull. I won't. I promise. I'm just saying that. Just in case the authorities are watching. Sword says, for me, it's lock type, action, and steel. Yeah, I've been vacillating on this. Steel is definitely last for me, though. And I think lock type comes first for me as well. Action, sometimes I like this kind of action, this sort of drop shutty action. Other times I like the hydraulic action. An American Father, nice to have you here, American Father. Pleasure to have you and your cute little beagle with us, if that indeed is a beagle. Hope you're doing great tonight. Hello, Bob, Jim, Bob and Jim. It's good to have survived another 7 days. Indeed. For me, it's more urban or suburban survival, which this day and age, it's an accomplishment too, especially given the traffic around where I live. Michael Elliott, nice to have you here, Michael. Speak of the devil. I was just showing off this. Michael Elliott designed this. There's his maker's mark. Gunfighter Customs, Gunfighter. Love this thing. Michael says, great evening, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. For me, lock type, action, and steel. Lock has to be strong and durable. Action has to be quick and smooth. Steel, sharp and pointy, beats soft and squishy. Yeah, no doubt. For me and my personal use cases, I can even 8 CR13 MOV I can have for a long time and not need to sharpen it because I'm just not out there with a high-speed, low-drag lifestyle, let's say. I have the knives ready if that lifestyle sort of imposes itself on me, which hopefully it doesn't. But yeah, I'm with you. Better than soft and squishy, though. James says, as for action or lock, the triad lock on the cold steel folding knives seems to be very stable. It is from personal experience, but also it is fidgety. There is something to be said for this fidget right here. People generally tend to think of lockbacks as not being fidgety, but when it's a mid lockback, it works a lot easier than say on this antique 112 where you have to come way to the back and shake it. It's not as fidgety, but yeah, I'm with you. Oh, Hero Sticks, did you just join? You must have just joined. I can tell from this little thing on your anyway, yes. Evening and cheers, everyone. Hero, it's great to have you here, and it's great to have you as a member right here on YouTube. So now we have 6 YouTube members, and let me say this while I have you here, Hero, and hopefully a lot of other all 5 other of our members who are members here. Unlike Patreon, I have no way to contact you. Patreon gives me your email address and I can email you and say, send me your address. Hero, I'm pretty sure I have your address, but I know it has changed. You're like, yeah, that was like 5 years ago now, Bob. In any case, if you are a member here, send me your address. Email it to me at TheKnifeJunkie@gmail.com. And I will send you a coaster and some stickers. Just a little thank you, a little welcome package, if you will. So please do that, because other than that, I have no way to reach you because there's no DMs here on YouTube. and I don't know how else I would reach you. Yeah, so email me your mailing address, and I'll get you stickers and a coaster. Craig Vincent, nice to have you here, Craig. Howdy, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. For me, it's lock, action, steal, in that order. All right, I'm starting to see a trend. A lot of us are feeling this way. For me, lock, action, steal, says James Hart. This one has pretty nice action, I gotta say. What is this? The Guile by Civivi. Scott says the patent on the Triad is coming to an end, I believe. So possibly quite a few manufacturers will be jumping on that system. Okay, who do you think will be jumping on that system? I think brands that it would go with Off-Grid Knives. I have no inside scoop on that, but I always kind of put Off-Grid Knives kind of in a similar category as Cold Steel. They're robust, big knives. I think that would be kind of cool to see. Who else? Let me know who else you think it would be appropriate. Sean Clark, nice to have you here, Sean. He is a member here at the channel and has a beautiful cat. I love cats personally. Good evening, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. Hope your week was good. My week was, I'd love to say it was great. But hey, man, I am here and I still have all 10 digits on my hands, and had a busy week, though. Had a busy and emotionally taxing week. Gary Balmain, nice to have you here, Gary. Also a gentleman junkie. He says, good evening to all. I always enjoy new locks. Steels, especially high carbon. I'm with you, sir. Are part of the learning process, but operating systems bring fun to the table. Yeah, I would agree with you on that. Like, here, I have a couple of, like this. Great lock is the, whatever Civivi calls their ambidextrous bar lock, and fun to actuate in a number of ways, and fidgety as hell. So, lock type can be a, or operating system, as you put it, can be a great draw. Matt Lamana, nice to have you here, Matt. Happy Thursday night knives, Bob, Jimmy Notes, and Junkies all. Order of importance for me: lock, steal, then action. Matt, while I have you here, actually, I just noticed that you are on 2 levels with us on Patreon. I think you might want to stop one and keep with the other. I know you're a gentleman junkie, but you also, I think you were a traditional junkie too, and still maybe on that traditional junkie plan. So you check it out. I think I saw that. I was in a rush, and I didn't really slow myself down and make sure that that's what was happening. But I think you might be signed up twice. So check it out, Matt. Malcolm Holt, nice to have you here, Malcolm. He says steel, lock type, action. Okay, we have a steel snob in Malcolm. No, I'm just kidding. Probably not a snob, but an aficionado, we'll say. My steel choice thing, Ira, nice to have you here. Hello, lovers, he says. Ira Hayes, good to have you here, man. With the steels, I like to know that I'm getting a certain level of steel if I'm paying a certain level of dollars. But that's kind of where my true appreciation for it kind of ends. For me, it's an alphanumeric pattern, and I know when I have a bad steel, but it's not always apparent to me that I have a superior steel. Like, I love 154 cm. A lot of my favorite knives are in 154 cm. And do I know the difference between that and, say, M390? Well, if I'm cutting for days and days, probably, but I just don't. So I like to know I'm getting a good deal. We'll put it that way. Will Height Works, nice to have you here, sir. You're gonna like my ESK today. It was something you and I talked about in emails. I love that knife, and I look forward to maybe someday having new clothing for that knife, if you know what I mean. No rush, of course. Double Wide EDC, or Mad Yako, nice to have you here, Double Wide. Howdy, Knife Junkie. Well, howdy to you, sir. I hope you're doing well. I like your crown and your grin. Positively diabolical. Canary SK. Good to have you here, Canary. Canary says hashtag knife. Why? Because Canary wants to win this beautiful Metamorph Fixie from real steel. Thanks to Dave of OG Blade Reviews, we have this to give away to you tonight. Beautiful knife, by the way, 14C28N. It is O-stop hell all day long. Actually, this was the folding Metamorph was, I think, the first front flipper that I ever knew of. And it had that profile. Absolutely beautiful. Trent, nice to have you here, sir. Happy Thursday night knives to all, or to all knife junkies. Good to have you here, Trent, as always, man. Trent likes the big knives, as do I. Oh, wait. This, I just wanted to show this off. This is kind of a luxury knife. It's got a crowned spine, beautifully milled G10 here. A nice run of jimping that is truly engaging, yet not too abrasive, like some people we might know. Have it in reverse, no one in particular. We have it in reverse grip. It's a great pommel for capping the pommel there. For reverse grip or Pikal grip or anything. This thing is awesome. Also comes with a great fold over Kydex sheath or taco Kydex sheath with a nice bit of 550 cord and then extra here. And then this awesome toggle thing. I really like these toggle things. I'm not sure what they're called, so I call them toggle things. But hashtag knife. Just put hashtag knife. And I want to see as many people who are in the chat. I want to see a hashtag knife for each one of you so that we have a good, solid competition for this knife tonight. Byron, nice to have you here. Splitting Slices is with us. Howdy, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. Thursday Night Knives. Glad to be here to check out action, lock, and steel. Okay, interesting. We've had a lot of lock action steel. We've had one steel first, and I believe it was lock and then action. So, action lock steel hero sticks too. All right, cool. So so we have some fidgeters, not that you're fidgeters only. I don't know about I know Byron is definitely a user in his day-to-day work, and by user that sounds really lurid. I mean, you know, a knife user, not just a materialistic hoarder like myself. Lone Star Dowboy, nice to have you here, Lone Star. For my taste, I would argue that function is most important. Once I have the knife, I need then toughness, strength, and reliability are most. We're not talking. Hey, Lone Star, we're talking superficial. We're talking superficial. You're getting it to the heart of the matter. Toughness, yes. Strength, absolutely. Reliability, probably most important, like you say. But what about in the shallower sort of subject matter? Like, where do you stand on that? You know, I'm just kidding. It's not shallow. This is deep stuff. I'm going to put this away. This beautiful, beautiful dog head K-bar. I love this thing. Matt Maurer, nice to have you here, Matt. Bob and everyone, he says, hello. Hello to you, sir. I can't quit you, dog head K-bar. I love this. This is my favorite K-bar. Now, I don't have many. I have some antiques, a couple of them on the wall, like this one right here. And my brother's got me some other antiques. So those are, and my brother got me my first K-bar, which was a reissue of the World War II design. It was released in the early 90s, and I cherish all of those. But just talking straight model, I love this, which leads me to believe I would probably love the Slabby, but I'm not about. And with the Slabby, I would want to buy a leather sheath. I would also want to buy those Carol grips, I think. So that would be getting like a $250 fixed blade knife from K-Bar and then spending another, I don't know, $150 to make it how I want it. So that's just not happening. If I were a K-Bar fanatic, for sure. Sean says, I can't wait to get the 001, waiting patiently for the drop. It's right around the corner here, right around the corner. 8 days. 8 days. I got some cool ones here. Let me, since we're talking, I'll put a couple down here. This is the one that if you're a gentleman junkie, you stand to win. And then Tim sent me a couple of others today to show off, which I'm very, very proud to do. Check these out. That one is called the Storm pattern. This one is the Zombie pattern. Here, let me show them up close. Of course, you can get any version of these. This one is, though I shouldn't say that. I don't know how limited these etched ones are. So this one is the Storm on the bottom, and the top one is the Zombie. And remember the whole zombie craze? This is sort of a tip of the hat to that, and I love it. I've never had a zombie themed knife with that radioactive green and the blood splatters, but I love it. I think it's handsome. I think it's beautiful. Well, handsome or beautiful, Bob? Which is it? I'd say it's compelling. Let's say. But also, you can get these in a number of other here. I'm loving these Battle Lock grips these days. That they are, I was turned off by the GFN, and then I got them in hand and saw the beautiful, rich colors and the way they feel, and it's awesome. It's awesome. I'm not sure if it would be my first choice for my first agent. I'm a huge sucker for G10 and micarta, but these Battle Lock grips are just phenomenal. Made by the same company that makes grips for FN, USA, and Glock, maybe? Did anyone hear really disturbing information about Glock? I did today, but I will reserve my comment until I have more information. Karen Slavin, nice to have you here, Karen. Karen says, hello, fellow junkies. Hello to you, Karen. Another fantastic Thursday Night Knives. Tomorrow is my birthday. Hopefully, my lucky night. Okay. Sorry, these have ballistol on them, so I can tell which one goes into which. I hope you win too, Karen. I mean, I hope you all win. I shouldn't be playing favorites, of course, but that's awesome. I'm really happy to hear that. Happy birthday, and I hope it's a good one. I hope you have a great birthday weekend. I hope you spoil yourself, and I hope you have a great time. And I'm not going to guess how old you are because I've never seen you before, but I hope it's a great year for you. I'm in my 54th year. Or does that mean if I'm 54, does that mean I'm in my 55th year? I could never quite figure that out because I suck at math. Trent Costello says the 001 is really nice with blue handle. Yes, sir. And you know what, Trent? I think they have a couple of other different blues besides these two. I think there's a blue burl that they do. The burl G10s are just so gorgeous. Jacob Vargas, nice to have you here, Jacob. Good evening, Bob, Jim, and Knife Junkies. Good evening to you, Jacob. I always love that avatar. I think it's super cool with the samurai on the battlefield. Matt says entire Agent series is wicked nice. I agree. I love it's my favorite series of knives from them, and possibly my favorite series of knives anywhere. Pardon me. Double Wide says I like long stabby. I can call them nighttime sticks. I like long stabby. Let's see. Do I have any? Oh, well, let me show you. Since you mentioned it, here's one that's long and stabby. That it's actually been one of my ESKs a lot recently. One of my emotional support knives. This is the 12-inch. As always, thank you for your generosity. It's my pleasure. It's actually other people's generosity. I'm just the conduit, mostly. So this is the Cold Steel Tonto 12. That's a 12-inch blade. It's VG10 San Mai, and man, it's really sweet. It's really sweet. This is the standard handle, like on the Magnum Tonto, but that hollow ground blade is nice and long. But I'll tell you what, it is super light and super lively in hand. If you've got it, I've been doing a lot of, I've been carrying it, not on my person, but in my bag a lot. And it's light, and it just moves around so nice. So Double Wide, if you like long and stabby, this might not be what you were thinking of, but this is a great, fits that bill beautifully. It is definitely long and slashy and stabby. I'll leave that out for a little bit of eye candy. Adrian Fighter 35. Nice to have you here, Adrian. Good evening, Bob, Jim, and fellow junkies. Hope everyone's day was good. For me, it's lock action steel. I had 2 liner locks fail. Ooh. Hey, Bob, did you get my email about the letter? Yes, I was just going to say, yes, I have it, and I'm sorry, I've just had a brutal week and really haven't had a chance to sit down. But I've got you on my list. I have 4 people. So I put in an order for 5 more Zippos, and I'm pretty sure Cookies, I would love the Knife Junkie Zippo. Is awesome. Thank you very much. Well, it's my pleasure. I'm glad you love it. I just hand delivered one last night, actually, to Stephen Michael Robert here. But Adrian, yes, I have you on my list, Adrian, and I'm sorry I wasn't able to respond, but I should be getting the Zippos. Zippo was very quick the last time, so I should be getting them here shortly. And now that they're all, people want them. I know Sean wants one, Shane wants one, Adrian wants one, Craig, and then there's one more. And then I'll be ordering. Maybe I'll order 10 the next time. But I'm glad you guys like them. I love them. I cannot believe what a beautiful job Zippo did with the logo. So, yep, $50 for a custom Zippo. I should say a Knife Junkie Zippo with this logo on it, or that logo right there. 1931 Leatherworks. Nice to have you here, sir. Hello, everyone, he says. Well, hello to you, sir. Hope you're doing well. Some of the most beautiful sheath work I've seen in a long time, done by 1931 Leatherworks. Jock's Knife. Nice to have you here, Jock. Good evening, Bob, Jim, and all. Heads up, Bob. Valkyrie from Offensive Industries is on its way to you. Sorry for my little heart palpitation there, but I cannot wait to check this out. I got one that Jock sent to me, and then I'm going to send it along to him, and it is cool too. It's the Partisan, the number 2 from Station 9, their new version of it with the green G10 handle. So cool. It's such a great knife. I love that. So good to have you here with us, Jock. Sean says the Instant Ronin pre-order started on GoGun. This is like Greek. What are you saying? I can't wait for those as well. Okay, so I don't know the Instant Ronin, though I think I wrote that down last week. But what's GoGun? Question mark. And then a friend of mine who's a police officer just recently discovered. What's the new auction site? Tell me what the new auction site is. He just ordered 13 knives. He's like gone headfirst into junkieism. So I'm very pleased about that. What is it? I can't remember what it is. Tell me, you know what it is. It's the place where you go and buy, where people are buying knives on auction. Bobtism, nice to have you here. Good evening, fellow Bobs. Bob, I hope you're doing great, man. GoGun. Oh, what is this magic? Yes, I'm in. It's like a blowgun with less effort. I love it. How cool. Oh, that's awesome. GoGun. Yeah, I think I may have seen that in the thumbnail, or one of those in the thumbnail of Tomas's recent video, but I'm not sure. GoGun. How cool. Okay, so that's what the Instant Valkyrie is. GoGun. Yeah, just make sure you don't pull it out around any officers of the law. You might have to go. Split and Slices says the order of preference of the listed 3 are lock, steel, and action. Okay, but it's more like size, ergonomics, and value that are on my trinity. Size, ergonomics, value. Yeah, me too, definitely for size. Like, size is the gatekeeper. If it's too small, it's like, oh, thank God I don't have to buy that knife. Even though it's so beautiful and I love the way it looks, I'm glad it's 3 inches in blade length, because now I just know I won't carry that. So I have a couple of that are 3.25 inches. 3.4 can squeak in for sure. 3.5 to 4 inches is my sweet spot. I guess 3.75 is my actual sweet spot. Have a nice day. Nice to have you here, Mr. Rexu. Good to have you here with us. Good evening, he says. I hope you're doing well tonight, sir. Lou Zer, good to have you here, Lou. Howdy, Vinny Bobber. Howdy, Vinny Barbarino, Sweat Hog Jim, and all. I'm going with Welcome Back Cotter theme tonight. I love it. I love it. I used to love that show. And I thought that that's what living in New York City was going to be like. And maybe it was in the 70s in the Bronx. I think that was the Bronx. Yeah, I love that show. That was funny. Donald Fry, nice to have you here, Donald, another gentleman junkie. He says, good evening, everyone. Happy Thursday Night Knives. Assuming good workmanship, my priority would be action. Lock type, then steel. That said, I'm a sucker for a good deal. Here, here, sir. Yeah, me too. But assuming good workmanship, that's a given for this sort of mind experiment. Jerry C says, hello, Bob, Jim, and brother junkies. Jerry, I hope you're doing great tonight. Hope everyone is doing well this evening. I think we're doing great. And now that you're here, the party has started. Lone Star Dowboy says, for purpose priorities, personal protection. Yes. Pardon me. Kitchen, tactical fingernail cleaning chores. Right on. And not every knife is good for that. I know you're making light of it, but it's true. Not everyone is great at that. For me, self-protection is pretty much first too, or ability there, unless I'm carrying something like this. But even if I'm carrying something like this, I'm thinking corkscrew, I'm thinking awl. Actually, this one doesn't have an awl, but yeah. LSA, lock, steel, action, says loser. Okay. I'm just going to call you Lou. Robert Strebin, nice to have you here, Robert. Another Bob. You might not go by Bob, but still, spiritually speaking. Good Thursday night evening, Bob, Jim, and all the junkies out there. Robert, I hope you're doing great. Ouchie EDC, howdy, he says. Howdy to you, sir. Glad you're here with us. Commander Raider Bell, nice to have you here, Commander. Good evening, all, he says. I don't know why I use that voice, but the mask kind of demands it. Is that like an Imperial Guard mask? James Hart says, I got my first good sheath knife back. I'm sorry. I got my first good sheath knife back in 1980, a Green River knife. I've seen steels come and go, and I think that Magna Cut will even be surpassed sooner or later. Yeah, no doubt. And probably by Laren Thomas himself. Magna Cut has just been such a I don't know if it's been a game changer actually, but it's been such a just people love that. And maybe it has been a game changer because it's been adopted into a lot of outdoor series because of its extreme corrosion resistance, and then performance in other arenas as well. Bobby Rains, nice to have you here, Bobby Rains the second. Evening, everyone. He says, good evening to you, sir. Hope you're doing well. I'm going lock type. Action, steel. Yep, that's my order. People get excited about steel, but 95% of blade performance comes down to heat treat and edge geometry. Here. I mean, we hear that a lot, and when I hear it from people like you, it is even more compelling. And this is a guy who strops on the palms of his hand, which I think is pretty damn cool. Though you got to have, I would imagine, you can't have these soft suburban hands to do that. You got to have some like tough knife maker, powerlifting hands for that. And Bobby Rains happens to be both. Jock's Knife says Demko surely would jump on the triad. Oh yeah, yeah, right, exactly. Yes, exactly. Yeah, he's been forbidden to use it whilst not at Cold Steel, but soon when that goes up, I can't believe that's going to be up already. Yeah, because I think those first knives came out in 2006. I know that the new Voyager series debuted. The current Voyager series debuted and usurped the old one in 2006. I don't know why I remember that, but I do. So I thought patents were 25 years, but I guess they're 20. And man, that's fast. That's fast. 20 years ago, I was a babe in arms. My goodness. Angry Tom's Hat Next Door says, with a fixed blade, I think the sheath is most important than and then handle. I have to agree with you, Angry Tom. Just again, we're assuming good workmanship, good craftsmanship of the knife itself. Because actually this sheath right here, these cold steel, what are they called? Grivex, not Grivex, Secure X sheaths have been known to dull cold steels if the fit is too tight. At least that's what I've heard. And I think the only place I've experienced that perhaps is with my Taipan, because my Taipan was not as sharp as it is now. Let me just say it that way. It was not the sharpest out of the box cold steel I've had. So it is now wickedly sharp, but I feel like the Secure X sheath on that, because the edges on both sides, you can't favor the spine side. I feel like maybe the sheath it dulled, but I think your point is actually carryability, probably, because if it's a difficult sheath to, like this knife right here, I'll get to this in a second, or I'll get to Ira's comment in a second. This is the what is it? It's the Station 9, awesome Station 9 knife. I can't remember what it's called now. Oh, the Sear. This thing is awesome. This sheath, this squared off sheath, has always been a little bit of trouble. It really fits best on my under the arm Bastinelli shoulder holster. It fits perfectly on that. So sheath has a lot to do with how much you carry a knife. Ira says, I think it's cool to see Turner CNC use an old Gerber. I can't recall who actually lock on their new gin folder. That's right. I think it's a Butch Ball lock, similar to that gin knife is so cool. And I really like the folder. I like that he's making a big folder, but I want that fixed blade gin. I love that knife, but man, it's a pretty penny, and I know it's worth it. It's just I just haven't been up to that lately. I'm saving up for a knife made by someone right here in the chat. Victor Blade says, hey, Bob, Jim, and Junkster. Victor, great to have you here from SI. He says, Bob, Jim, Junksters, hope everyone is excellent. For me, budget is action, lock, steel. For me, budget is action, lock, steel, high-end action, steel, lock. Oh, I got you. Okay, all right. So he's saying for a budget knife, it's action, lock, steel. For high end, it's action, steel, and lock. Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's a good distinction to make. And from all indications, he's got a sweet collection. But I'm betting all of us do. Like Jacob, who's talking about Dawson knives. I'd love to get a Dawson knives. Jacob says, Bob, Dawson knives. You will be overly impressed. Yeah, I love the way they look, and cool guys. I'm not sure if you listened to my interview with them, Jacob, but check it out. Yeah, I do need to get they have a new one recently out that was kind of like a do everything field knife. Looked pretty combatish to me, but yeah, definitely something I'm interested in, or one of their swords, which would be also very cool. Lou says the Triad will greatly improve off-grid knives. I hope they're smart enough to jump on it. Well, I mean, they're pretty stout as it is. Ed says, hello, knife people. Ed, I'm glad to have you here, man. Hope you're doing great. I think that they're pretty stout, but yeah, I know what you mean. Liner locks only will take you so far, especially when you're as high speed, low drag as yours truly. Brown Sugar 0069. Great to have you here. Hello, Knife Junkie. Hello to you. Hope you're doing great. Terminator Joe, nice to have you, and I hope you're doing great. Evening, fellow junkies, he says. I do this every time. I don't know why. I think of you when your name comes up. I'm always like, because this one, I think you were the final decider in my mind when I got the Mayhem. Sword XXXY says, I'm thinking Spyderco will jump on the Triad. Maybe the Sage series. Oh my God, that has to be. Okay, calm down. That has to be a part of the Sage series, because that's what the whole Sage series is about. The sages of knife making, the most wise of the knife makers came up with the liner lock, came up with the the frame lock, came up with the back lock, and the all the other ones they have, the compression lock, what have you. Yes, I think you're absolutely right. Yes, I think they will jump on that. They should. They should, at least, at the very least, for the Sage series. Though I got to say, their regular lockbacks are damn strong, but they're not triad strong. Trent says fixed blade, then steel. Okay, all right. Yeah, yeah, because if it's a fixed blade, the action and the lock obviously don't matter. I know what Cheeto did last summer. Good to have you here, Cheeto. Hola, Bob, and Junkies. I'm going for action, lock, then steal. Okay, action, lock, then steal. All right. I like your new identity. This is a man who presumably who reinvents himself weekly, like on a weekly basis, and also has a really sweet knife design out there. Dragoon LSK, good to have you here, Dragoon. Good evening, all. He says, "Good evening to you, sir." Sorry, just checking out your avatar there. Ben, how you doing, Benedict? Ben Odie here. Evening, all. Sorry to be late. No sorry necessary. I was just drinking out of my Terzuola mug this very same night. I had a coffee right after dinner, had that. But with that one, if I don't have, where's the leather coaster? I don't have the leather coaster here. And I also didn't have it in the kitchen. So I'm always very gentle about putting that one down because I don't want anything to happen to it. And the foot is rough. And I love that. So Benedict, Ben Odie, if you didn't know, is the merch czar for Terzuola Design. So lots of cool stuff coming out of Terzuola Design. Dragoon says, out of the three, steel would be the most and probably only important one of the three. I just buy what I want, but I shy away from D2 on folders. Why is that, Dragoon? I personally, I really like D2. It's well, let me put it this way. A lot of the knives that I freely use excitedly and robustly happen to have D2 because they're maybe the less expensive ones. And I feel like it performs very well. And I also remember when D2 first came out and it was like, ooh, D2. It was like a big deal. Probably in 2012 or 2013. Sorry, guys. Cesario Anton, good to have you here, Cesario. Good evening, good folks. Chugging along, braiding paracord, nice. Enjoying the topic. I love imagining people doing their thing whilst listening to the show. I always think that's cool. I'm a fixie guy, though. Toot toot. Hashtag knife. Well, Cesario, I know you know this because you put hashtag knife, but it's a great night to be a fixed blade guy as we are giving this knife away thanks to Dave of OG Blade Reviews. He sent this to me to give away to you. It is a gorgeous Ostap Hell designed real steel metamorph fixed blade. They call it a fixie. And I'm really fond of it. It's nice and light and thin and very self-defense-y to me. It's long for its size. That sounds strange, but you know what I mean. A 4-inch blade at 14C28 and crown spine, excellent jimping, and a really nice taco style sheath, low profile and thin, both this way and this way. I'll put this over here. And then, of course, you can wear it around your neck, but you can take off that paracord and put on a DCC or some other sort of clip, ulti clip, and carry this on your person. So just put hashtag knife in the comments below or in the chat, and this will you will be entered in automatically just from putting hashtag knife to win. And we're going to do that in probably about 20 minutes or so. We have Shane with us. Shane, by the way, I have noted that I have it on my note right here that you want one of those Zippos, Knife Junkie Zippo. They are on order. When they are here, I will contact you. And Edgy American Blade says steel, period, because he is a fixed blade knife. Oh, number 2 is also steel. He's a fixed blade knife maker. And 3, steel. I'm with you. I get it. It makes sense. Ira Hayes says SIG. SIG is okay. What about SIG? I'm wondering if it's if you mean they make the handles for SIG, the same company. That could possibly be right, but I don't know. Angry Tom says those will sell out. Which will? I don't know which ones, but I think the 001s with all the beautiful colors are going to sell like hotcakes. So let's just say that. Lou says, "Spill the beans on Glock, Barbarino." Oh, just that in Pasadena, in California, they want to pass a law that will basically forbid Glocks to be sold there because of some shooting done by some scumbag that they let out of jail really early, and since the Glocks have that cruciform sort of what is it? I can't remember what that thing is called. The little pin towards the back, and you can easily turn it into a rapid fire gun. Some bullshit that they're coming up with in California to try and ban Glocks. And Glock has basically capitulated. They haven't put up a fight. They just said, now we're going to redesign our guns, or the next redesign the next what do you call it, generation, and it's just like the first step towards the next step, which is obviously trying to ban them altogether. And I'm very, very against that. Lots of guns in this country be hard to ban, but still, give an inch, take a mile, and I really don't like that. I feel like Glock should be fighting that. Kyle Kunley, nice to have you here. Hola, weirdos. All right, Klingenwerk. Oh man, his sharpening skills are second to none. Kyle does great work. Check him out on Instagram, Klingenwerk _sharpening, I believe. And he double sharpened my Civivi Perfrico, turning it into a dagger, from a dagger-like item into a dagger by having that back edge sharpened. So beautifully done. Alex Kerbert, nice to have you here, Alex. Hope you're doing well. Cody Broadway, good to have you here, Cody. Hey, mister, which way's Broadway? I had a girl ask me that once in New York. I swear to God, and she wasn't being ironic either. I'm like, Broadway's that way. Hey, mister. Anyway, Cody, you've got a movie star's name. Bob, when we were going to see the second knife you designed, when are we going to see the second knife you designed for TKel? I don't know. I do not know. I know that Tim's got a lot on his plate, and the second knife I designed based on the Peshkabs a little bit on the Peshkabs and also on the Yatagan, sort of, called the Fighter. At least that's what it's being called right now as we talk about it. That would require an entire new handle, an entire new paradigm for them. So I think they've got a lot of knives to sell and catch up to do before they start a whole new thing. I don't know, but I can't wait. And when it comes out, it'll just be gravy. I'm just glad I'm not a knife designer by trade and by. I think that would be stressful if that were the only thing. Unless I had my own company. Jerry C says, I've always loved and preferred fixed blades, so steel is number one concern. If it's a folder, then certainly Loctite first. Side note, Glock is covering their ass due to the lawsuits. I have mixed feelings on it. Yeah. I'm sure. But also, aren't they an Austrian company? I know that they make them in Georgia, or are they a Georgia company who makes them in Austria? I've never quite understood that. On mine, it says Smyrna, Georgia on the side, but I was never sure. But I know they're Austrian too, so I don't understand. Maybe I've Austrian. I guess I would get it because Europe, and I love Europe. I'm not casting a sideways glance at Europeans or the beautiful continent, but the European politicians, who I'm pretty sure are not in this chat. So if you are, straighten up and fly right. Ed says action, steel, and lock. Action is important. I mean, I am not going to minimize action, even though it's not my first. Whatnot. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Ira. I would have awakened and Clark. Thank you. Whatnot. I know. Tim Kell sells a lot of knives on whatnot. I would have awakened 3 a.m. Whatnot, and yeah. So thank you. I appreciate it. Anthony Kitchen, nice to have you here, Anthony. Hi, Bob and fellow junkies. Hope everyone is well. My tactile Maverick was up to slicing this evening. Ooh, tactile knives, man. They make some really, really nice knives. Autumn Wind, nice to have you here, Autumn Wind. Hello, Bob. Hello, all. Hello, Autumn Wind. I hope you're doing well. And this is your time, baby. October, end of October. It's crisp here. It's like it's become perfectly autumn. It smells like leaves now. The trees are starting to turn here. I was driving and there was a gust of wind and leaves very cinematically. It was like, cue the leaves. And knives very cinematically floated across at an angle. It was perfect. I love fall. Beautiful. Have a Knife Day says, welcome back. Your knife dreams were your ticket. Oh, well, your knife dreams were your ticket out. Welcome back. The welcome back Cotter theme modified. I love it. I love it. And I know that you were watching it in real time like I was. Matt Lamana says, I only see my gentleman membership in Patreon, but thank you for the heads up. Sure. I think sometimes maybe it was before I set all the filters right, and because they have every member that's ever been. Sometimes I go to like the canceled to see how many people have canceled, and that's kind of depressing. But hey, I know people come and go, and I appreciate even 1 month's membership because that's generous. You're saying, hey, you're worth my hard-earned lucre, and I really appreciate that. Terminator Joe says, action, lock, steel. A knife has to be deployed fast to use a good lock so it won't close or fail on deployment. Steel, if the heat treat is bad, the type of steel doesn't matter. True that. But what about the action on these? I know you like them, but they come out quick and easy with these thumb plates. To me, I think a knife has to be waveable, or at least you have to have the option to get yourself a snaggletooth MF to make it waveable. If it's a pocket knife that I'm carrying because it's a self-defense item, and a lot of them are that for me. If not because I'm defending my life, just because that's my taste. I just like them. James says, I've heard that MagnaCut is very hard steel to work. I've heard that too. Eats grinding belts. I've heard the same thing. Anthony Kitchen says, steel lock action, 100. 100% believes that. Steel lock action. Pardon me for the belch. Lou says, soft suburban hands. It's true. It's true. It's like in Trading Places. Well, I'm not going down there. But there's if you know Trading Places, you know that. That's the way Dan Aykroyd convinces what's her name that he's actually a millionaire. She like checks his hands and she's like, you haven't worked a day in your life. He's like, oh. Robert Strebin says, hey, Bob, I smoke cigars as well. Would you be able to get a torch insert in a Zippo for me if I would order one too? And if so, how much extra would the price be? Well, I mean, I just went to REI and got mine, or you can order it online, super easy. But if you wanted me to do that, I guess I could do that. But it would be whatever it costs I would get it probably on Amazon. I think it'd be probably less expensive than going to REI. And then whatever the shipping is, not the shipping to send it to you, but the shipping from Amazon. But yeah, I guess I could do that. I just can't fill it up, I don't think. I think that's a bad idea. OG Blade Review says, Bob, what was shown on screen at GoGun was the 6 Needler CO2 pistol. Oh, that's so nasty. The Instant Ronin is a set of 2 Tontos that telescope, and nestle in each other's handles. Yeah, I've seen Melissa Backwoods had one of those. Now, isn't Dave, isn't that from Midgard's Messer? Isn't that a Midgard's Messer, the instant Ronin? Um, yes, patents are for 20 years. Okay. All right. Yeah, man, that was a quick 20 years, said the old man. Whew. All right. That said, Anthony says it's getting very fall-like out there. Yeah, man. Oh, I love it. I love it. Who doesn't love fall? I think everyone I know says fall is the best. James Hart says Colt patented the 1837 Patterson revolver and its mechanism in 1837. When it expired in 1857, Remington jumped on the bandwagon. How cool is that? I love that lots of pistols and guns and stuff are weapons are named after the year. I think that's cool. Sword says, for fixies, grip is most important since it's the interface with the blade. Then blade style. Sheath is third. I can always get a new sheath. Well, that's not that. I mean, that is. I can't disagree with you. I guess is what I've done that a bunch of times. Though sometimes it can be a pain if it's not a knife that you're like extremely excited about, but a knife that you just would like to carry, then getting that secondary sheath could be a buzzkill. But totally agree with what you're saying. Craig Vincent says they'll probably call it the spy ad lock. Sorry, I just launched them. The spy ad lock. Yes, I bet they would. The spy ad. Yeah, that's good. That's good. You should see if you can get a job in marketing at Spyderco. That's pretty good. Dragoon, it's like this. They have a lot of those. Dragoon says, I just got on the list for Chino blades out of Cali for the juvenile. That's cool. One of the last three. What's a juvenile? Oh my gosh, you guys are just expanding my brain. I love it. I gotta look that one up. Juvenile. Benedict Odie says we have a small amount of additional stock of the mugs that will drop on the Terzawola website next week. Damn, I wish I brought it down with me. But I finished it. I finished my coffee, and then I don't let anyone else wash it. I just wash it immediately and put it right back in the cabinet, which is overcrowded with coffee mugs. But since my daughters have to put the cups away, that's their problem. They have to find a place. I found a place for them in this house. They got to find a place for my mugs in our cabinet. Marcus G503, good to have you here, Marcus. Hashtag knife. Hashtag knife indeed. That's all you got to do is put hashtag knife in there so that you can get this here. Look at the trees. Nice to have you here. Look at the trees. I like Benchmade's action. The axis lock, I've seen people complain about the springs, but I have had no problem. I have a bug out in S30V, a mini Osborne S30, a bone collector in D2, and an immunity in M4. Very nice. Look at the trees. I agree with you. I've heard of people, like a lot of people, complain about the Omega springs. I have never had a problem. Look at the trees. If you like the Omega, if you like that, you will love this knife. This is the Pyrotech Tsunami, and I've been carrying this a lot. I really love this knife, and it comes with extra extra Omega springs and hardware. And actually, these I've only done it once, but I'm not going to do it on screen until I do my review, I guess. But these come off, they're stuck on there with magnets, really, really well stuck on there with magnets. So this thing is a really beautiful knife, the Tsunami from Pyrotech. And I love that blade, by the way. This is like, that blade to me is like if you were to take a 940, and it's no secret I've never been a huge fan of the 940. I have massive respect for it and its place in the folding knife pantheon, but to me it's just kind of a dog. I don't know why. It's never quite lived up to it for me. But this is a similar blade shape, and to me, oh my god, this thing is wickedly sharp. Even though it looks quite obtuse from that grind and that bevel, it is really, really sharp and beautiful. I just think it's a beautiful blade. So sometimes, for me anyway, looks make all the difference. Look at the trees. You might want to check out this Pyrotech. I bet you'd like it. D2 done correctly is a super steel, says an American father. I couldn't agree with you more. And even if it's not a super steel, it's a super steel. That steel is super. Remember in the 70s and the 80s when people would say, oh, that's super. Oh, you're coming over for dinner? Super. That's super. That's great. Ugh. I used to hate that because my parents hated it, and I've always had a thing against the word super because of that. Yeah. Hero Stick says, Bob, thinking about buying the Copus Ed Calderon Elvia field knife. Have you handled it? The Elvia field knife. Is that's just the Elvia? Yeah, I have it. I love it. But now, if you go to Knives Ship Free, they have them with a tan handle, a green handle, and then they have 3 different blade shapes. The traditional one, which is just the hooking blade, that's the one I have on my older model. And then they have one with that blade, but there's a thumb swale cut out of it, so it's on the back. And then they have one like that with the thumb swale, but also with serrations. Highly love that. I highly recommend that knife. I love it. I love that knife. 154 cm. It's relatively inexpensive, especially for an Ed Calderon collaboration knife. And I think you will love it. Oh, we have an affiliate link right here. Knives ship free. So TheKnifeJunkie.com at knives or / knives ship free. All right, it's time. We have to get now to a pocket check.
What's in his pocket? Let's find out. Here's the Knife Junkie with his pocket check of knives.
Front right pocket today, I had the Scuffle from JW Collab, the collaboration branch of Jack Wolf Knives. I love this knife. I like Nick Rogers's. I love the designs of Nick Rogers of Niche Designs, and this is probably my favorite of his designs so far. I have really, really loved this knife. And today was actually, a day at work where you're working with the boss, the big boss, and not that I'm pulling out my knife and showing it off, but it might get used. So I figured on those kind of days, I wear a dressier knife. And to me, even though this has that sort of World War II American kit kind of look with the green micarta and the blasted titanium, I love this knife. I carried it. To me, it's kind of a fancier knife, and I love it. The blade is just absolutely wicked. It's so sharp, very thin, hollow ground S90V. You've got that great fuller for that sort of flickage action there. They are bolster locks, except for one version, which is a frame lock, and I absolutely love it. This one cut some gaffer's tape today, and I did something actually detailed with the tip, and now, oh, well, at dinner time, I also did use this to open up a couple of packages of meat. But I did something else with it today, and I was thinking, I got to remember, but doesn't matter. I love that knife, use it a lot, and I consider it, for me, kind of a dressier knife. In my pocket next to that, I had in this beautiful Duties daggers, which I'm not sure if he's got an official name now that he's making these on a more regular basis and selling them through traditional pocket knives. But Kevin Duty of Duties Daggers made this for me quite a while ago now. Beautiful leather slip. He does awesome work, and I love his channel, especially his shorts, his short videos, that is. But this is the QSP Hedgehog, nice, thin, and this is the Knives Ship Free exclusive titanium version with the jigged titanium and the bolsters, faux bolsters. I believe this is M390 blade steel. Really nice. I dropped it on the tip once. Really, really made me cringe hard. You can kind of see it. I sharpened it out a little bit, but I'll always know. Even if you can't see it, which I'm sure you can, just pretend you can't. I will always know. I love this knife. I just love this knife. I'm not too fond of the drop point version or any of the other versions. I really like this slender jigged titanium version, and I had it on me and didn't even pull it out all day, but I love it. Love that thing. My fixed blade today in the waistband was the Fisher Blades McNasty. A bunch of our trusted voices have been showing off their McNasty FSs. That stands for full size, so that's a big version of this. Made in Montana, these beautiful knives. It inspired me to carry my regular size McNasty. I love this thing. I would like to get the FS. I'm not sure, they might be sold out at this point. But beautiful knife, beautifully done, very simple dagger style with a great handle. I love the handle. I love the pommel, that perfectly shaped pommel for the thumb. And what is that? 3¼ inches. Let's see, since I have my ruler out, almost 3½, 3.4-inch blade. I guess if you go measure from there, it's 3½. Really, really nice knife, though. I gotta say, the sheath at first stumped me a little bit because that little notch at the front of the G10, at the front of the handle, the tab that's created by pushing that in fits into that notch, and that's the main retention. And you do have to kind of separate it a little bit to pull it out smoothly. You can yank it, but it really kind of will pull up the pants. So I've learned that if you kind of go against it just a little bit in angle, so like push it that way or this way, when you draw it, you don't have to actually press with the thumb. But great knife, really love it. And I had that as my fixed blade. My emotional support knife today, my ESK, was the Natchez Bowie. I love this thing. And funny, well, it's not funny at all, but I've been carrying that 12-inch Tonto recently, the Cold Steel 12, not carrying, but having in my bag. And then 2 days ago, I swapped it out with this. So I've been carrying this. I love this knife. I've been doing my morning Bowie workout with this one recently. It's got a nice weight. It's pretty well balanced right in front of the guard. I'm not going to let go of this because it's a little bit further up, but it feels really great. And I love doing like redondos and things that you probably shouldn't be doing with a knife unless you're very conscious of your edge orientation, which I am. When I used to train a lot with sticks doing collie, I was always very edge conscious, even though you're working with something round, and making sure that I was striking with the proper, because I always thought of sticks as a proxy for a blade. And so I'm used to turning my wrist in the proper orientation when doing like a redondo. It's kind of like it's like a circle, but it's all created with the wrist. I've always had very supple wrists, he said in a husky tone. And so I can get a good spin on it without this thing. I hate when you see people open up their hands like in movies and they're just holding it right there and flip. No, you should always have a full grip. If you're doing any sort of floretti or a redondo or I would say, for me personally, a back cut even, I would do that. But I know that technique dictates that sometimes you open up your hand a little bit. For me, I think you need to work on having a strong grip, but also having a wrist that can go in a lot of different directions in a strong manner without compromising your grip at all, because people are looking for that. They're going to hit it at the right time, and you're going to lose your knife or your stick if you're opening it up like you're in a movie. That always bugged me in movies, but some people, some people are in the military and they watch a military movie and they're like, oh my God, that would never happen. You'd never go through a door like that or whatever. And everyone's got their little thing. And for me, it's that. I hate when people twirl swords or knives in movies and they open up their grip. So that's what I had on me today. I had the Natchez Bowie. I had the McNasty from Fisher Blades. I had the QSP Hedgehog, but that's the exclusive traditional pocket knives version, the Kevin Duty Slip. And I had the JW Collab Scuffle. What were you guys and gals carrying? Let me know. Drop it in the comments. I want to get to it. I want to find out. But I want to give away this knife. What do you say, Jim? How are we doing on numbers here? I I know we're not. I know not everyone has put hashtag knife in the comments, so please put hashtag knife in the comments, or we're going to give this away in 1 minute. 1 minute. You got a minute. Let's do it. Doesn't take that long. I know you type knife a lot, so your fingers are already used to it. So hashtag knife. We got a pretty good grouping here. So let's do it. Let's do it in 30 seconds. We're going to be giving this beauty away. So you got 30 seconds. You're like, whoa, that first 30 seconds went a lot quicker than 30 seconds feels. And you might be right. But yeah, I want to give this thing away. Real Steel Metamorph Fixie, thanks to OG Blade Reviews. Thank you very much, sir. And designed by the great Ostap Hell, a Polish knife designer. Who has been on this show. Very nice guy, very talented, and I love the look of his stuff. You can always identify one of his knives from the look. So very, very nice design style. All right, Jim, what do you say? That approximated a minute, I think. All right. Oh, 61. Excellent. All right, let's do this in 3, 2, and 1. And while that spins, oh, there we go. Sorry about that. Sword XXXY. My goodness. This is yours, sir. Congratulations. I will be heading to the post office probably on Tuesday. Oh, no, not Tuesday. Maybe Monday to get this off to you. So please send me your address again. I know I've sent stuff to you before. I'm pretty sure it was you. But please let me know your address. Send your address to TheKnifeJunkie@gmail.com. Karen, I know it's your birthday. I'm sorry you didn't win this. Send me your address, please, to TheKnifeJunkie@gmail.com, and I'll send you a little care package. Just put Karen Slavin and birthday and your address. All right, man. Sword, I'm happily going to send this to you this coming week. I've got a box for that, and also a swag pack I'll throw in there as well. So congratulations, sir. And thank you to Dave of OG Blade Reviews for supplying the awesome knife edge for giveaway. Really appreciate it. Sorry about that. My nose starts to itch an hour into this show. I don't know what it is. Ira says, hey, Bob, I like lock first. Also, did you notice more new locks than usual at Blade Show West recently, or was it just me? Is this because everyone fell in love with DeMarco that one time, or what? I don't know. I did not notice that, and I wasn't there, but I watched some of the coverage, and I did not notice that. The one new lock that strikes me that comes to mind, I don't know what they're calling it, but that Kaiser one, I know Michael Elliott has figured out a lot of different ways to flip it, but it looks like a regular locking knife, but it's got a lever on the back that you lift up, and you can do all sorts of twirly stuff with it. That one seems very strong and new. Dylan Mallory, how you doing, sir? Howdy, he says. Howdy to you, man. Always love your work. Steel and then lock type. So action doesn't even play in. And that's funny coming from you, because I've handled your knives before and the action is amazing. Dylan, this is you have a standing invitation to come on the Knife Junkie podcast. I'd love to talk to you sometime. I get it if you don't want to, but I got to put it out there every once in a while. So TheKnifeJunkie@gmail.com. You can get in touch with me, whether you want to come on the show or not. I'd love to talk with you. Denny O'Fools, nice to have you here, Denny. Sear disconnect. Yes. Okay. Thank you. He's talking about the piece in the Glock that can be altered to make it a rapid fire pistol. But I mean, you can alter anything to be more dangerous. So I just don't like that. It seems creepy to me. seems like a slippery slope, as many things are. Ed says the old create a problem, then offer a solution. Yeah, problem, reaction, solution. Yes. Victor Blade says, I hate scumbags. I do too. Referring to the Glock incident, of course. Yes. And there are a lot of scumbags in that incident, by the way, and not just the scumbags on the street, but the way people use it to affect policy, and also the fact that the guy had only spent 4 years of a 10-year sentence. That drives me nuts, man. For a non-violent offense, he beat up a woman and dragged her across the street by the hair. That sounds violent to me, but I guess no one died, so it's non-violent. Anyway, I don't like that. Edgy American Blade says, finally got to see a doctor. Oh, I officially have gout, but at least we know what to do now. Been down for 3 weeks. Dude, Shane, that sucks. I know my grandfather had gout. My brother has experienced it, though I think only once. And several people that I work with, gout is just horribly painful from what I've heard. And man, I also know it runs in families, and so I'm I'm like, oh shit, I'm waiting for that. But anyway, Shane, I hope you're doing better, man, and I hope that I know it just feels like shards of glass running through the veins of your feet, or that's usually where people are affected. So sorry to hear that, man, but I'm glad you finally know what the deal is and that action can be taken. Kay Mason, good to have you here, Mason. Kay, it's been a while, I think. Yeah, it's been a while, Kay. It's good to have you here. Good evening, fellow Icomaniacs. Icomaniacs. And this is a term that Kay Mason introduced to this show years back. Icomaniac is a knife junkie, someone who loves knives. He says, steal is greater than lock, is greater than action. Okay, so steal, lock, action. Okay, interesting. A steal guy, a steal first guy. Matt Maurer says, really like that Civivi. This Civivi, this one right here. This Civivi, come to think of it, could be yours for $30. This is one of the ones that I'm selling. I'm selling a number of Civivis for $30, shipped to your door without, so that's it, $30 you send to me and you get this sent to you. And I have a couple of send cuts for $25. I've been showing them off the past couple of weeks. If you want it, email me, TheKnifeJunkie@gmail.com, and I'll send it to you. Karen Slavin says, being on a fixed income, my criteria would be price, also not having smaller hands. Ah, yes. Well, ergonomics does have something to do with it. Karen, don't forget, besides happy birthday, make sure you send me your address. Dragoon says, I am glad your knife designs aren't just shrank down versions of the full size ones they already produce. Yeah, nope, not me. No, not me. Well, without getting too into it, this is a design I sent to Tim, and Tim was able to produce it. Actually, Tim perfected the handle. The handle drawing I sent him, I've shown it off here before, the drawing and stuff. He definitely fixed the handle. It was really an actual design collaboration, which I love. Sometimes people just put their name to a design, but in my case, it was really my design, and he perfected it with his changes to the handle, and yeah, together we started the Agent series. And well, he started the Agent series. I just offered a design, and I love it. I'm very proud of it, and I'm very proud to be working with him because I respect him so much as a person. He's so cool, such a great guy, and I just love his knives. They're like so good. An American Father says, after spending 50 years living and working in the woods, wow, that's cool. The one thing I have learned about knives for sure, steel doesn't matter. Interesting. Okay, I have an offbeat question. Ever experience anything strange in the woods? something unexplainable. But steel doesn't matter. So I'm taking it that it wasn't that humid um, where you were, because I would. But then again, if you're taking good care of your carbon steel blades, it wouldn't matter, would it? Because you would want carbon steel, because you would want impact resistance from doing all sorts of chores and that kind of thing. So could you expand a little bit, in American Father, on does carbon steel matter? I mean, or would you prefer stainless? And B, did you ever experience anything weird, uncanny, or unexplainable, we'll say, in the woods? I'm curious, especially living there for 50 years. Lou says Glock is Austrian, but manufactured for in the U.S. to avoid import fees and restrictions. Thanks, Lou. I've always wondered about that, because I know they're Austrian, but it says Smyrna, Georgia on my Glocks, and I was always curious about that, but not so curious that I actually looked into it. So thank you for spoon feeding me that information. I'm so lazy. Ed says, my taste has changed over time, of course, as have mine, and as do many. I feel like at the beginning of my knife journey, action would have been third. Yeah, right. Because because action is a refinement thing. And when your tastes become more refined, and you can deal with the luxury of, oh, it's got to drop shut, or it has to be that glassy hydraulic thing, that only comes with experience, that I would imagine. Discerning like that. Edgy American says Glock is an Austrian horse sperm company that makes guns for Georgia, guns in Georgia for U.S. sale, in Austria for European sale. Austrian horse sperm. Are you being edgy? I'm so gullible. Here I am thinking like, well, maybe there's something to that. Maybe it really is. I'm gullible. I'm lazy. Why do you guys watch it all? Cody Broadway says steel lock action. Okay, I hate when I love a design, but it's only available in an antique steel because the maker is comfortable with that medium. I'm not paying a premium price for a lesser steel. Cody, I feel you. I totally get it. I'm somewhat the inverse in that. Well, if I'm paying a high amount of money for a production knife, I want it in a high-end steel. But I don't feel that way with custom knives. I just don't. I don't, for some reason. So anyway, thank you for the input. Jacob Vargas says the best folder is a fixed blade. Yeah. What? Okay. So let me ask you this: what do you feel about the Triad lock, or the Atlas lock, or the Shark lock, or these locks where people are like, it's practically a fixed blade? Does that make you cringe? Have a Knife Day says action, lock, and steel. Okay. Action, lock, steel. I'm lock, action, steel. Matt says, while we're talking folders, and even though lock, none, and steel, both S90V, what's your pick? Jack Wolf Venom or Midnight Jack? I guess it essentially comes down to aesthetics and grip. Wait. Okay. Personally, the Venom, though I happen to have a Midnight Jack right here. But I like the Venom Jack a little bit better because I'm more of I like Warncliffe's a little bit better. But I mean, that is a fantastically beautiful, what do you call it? Sheep's foot blade, right? This is the Midnight Jack, right? Or no, yeah, this is the Midnight Jack. Right? Yeah, because the After Hours is okay. But the Venom is a Warncliffe, so it's a continuous curve and no shoulder right here. So personally, I like the Venom Jack a little bit better. Admittedly, it is hard to keep these knives straight at this point, all the different names and stuff, but what action, man. Now, this is the first run of them, but what great action. They all have great action. I feel like they've gotten ever so slightly more reasonable. Like when they first came out, they were just like very, very stiff. And I feel like the second runs of these knives are still very stiff, but they've gone from like a 9 to an 8, let's say, on that totally random and arbitrary scale of slip joint pull weight. Jesse Reisbach, nice to have you here, Jesse. Did Spyderco invent the tactical Wharncliffe? Is the best video to watch to learn all about the Jimbo series. Would still go with the Micro Jimbo Salt. I do like the Micro Jimbo. First of all, that's a cool video. I haven't seen that video, but thank you for the suggestion. I love the Micro Jimbo. I've carried that in Washington, D.C., where there's a serious knife length restriction. And that has made me feel safe for a knife that small. I think the Yojimbo is the most beautiful of all of them, and the Yojimbo too. And I think the Yojumbo is my favorite of them because it's big and it's also pretty, but it's not nearly as pretty. I swear that the Yojimbo 2 with the just is beautiful. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful knife, and it feels so good in hand. Cody Broadway says, makes sense, but I can't justify paying $325 for a Nitro V knife when I can get a 3V blade of equal craftsmanship for another $50. Yeah. I can't disagree with you. But for me, that's an emotional decision more than it is a practical one, because practically speaking, with my knife needs, either one of those steels is totally adequate. So, but I get it from your perspective. Greg Vanderlip, nice to have you here, Greg. He says, Bob, Greg, I hope you're doing well, man. I hope you enjoy that. What did I just recently send you? Now I can't remember what I sent you. You won one of the knives here. Edgy American Blade says, Bob, that batch of clip points has sold out. Taking orders on the next batch. How cool. Oh man, the last, I feel like you've really locked in on the profile of that. The last picture you sent, it was like a picture or that you posted, is the last one I saw anyway. It was a grip shot. It looked so good. You had the clip is perfect. Very nicely done. So if you guys like the Edgy American Homestead, beautiful clip point blade from Shane, hit them up now. What's the best way? Let us know here. Is it Instagram? Let us know. Jerry C says, and hot damn, I have to add that tomorrow. The UPS man will be delivering to my new SOG Super Bowie. Oh, I love the SOG Super Bowie. I am simply happier than a pig in shit. Hell yes. I love the SOG Super Bowie. I can remember the day it was delivered to my workplace when I lived in New York City, and it was on a Friday, and I was like, oh no, and it came late, and like I was worried the whole weekend was gonna go by and I wasn't gonna get it, and I would have to wait. And that was in the day where I had a lot fewer knives, and when I bought one, like, you know, I'd like George Costanza, I would throw an old lady out of the way in a house fire to get to it. And so that day I remember like lurking and like not breaking in, but they were closing down the mailroom in the building I worked in. And I kind of like weaseled my way in and actually found the package and was, oh, yes. Enjoy the new SOG Super Bowie, sir. You'll love it. Edgy American Blade says, the 940 has never spoken to me either, but the Contigo is a favorite of mine. Yes. Yeah. And the Contigo, and then what's the one in the middle? They're all in the same series. That one also has spoken to me. The only one that I've owned and kept for a long time was the Contigo, and then I sold it to get something else. And that would be one that I would love to have back. But, you know, I say that all the time about every knife I get rid of. Dwayne Letterman, nice to have you here, Dwayne. He says, evening, guys. And a good evening to you, Dwayne. Hope you're doing well. Oh, OG Blade Reviews. Today's carry, ESK BlackRock Garial, number 7 Bowie. Oh, I know what you're talking about. 52100 BlackRock. I just posted a BlackRock I don't know if it actually posted yet. I just uploaded a collection selection of my BlackRock Monkey Thumper. That guy makes such beautiful blades. Ken Vehikite of BlackRock. D Rocket Zulu out the front in Ultim and M390. Work Sharp RMX reverse Tonto auto. That one looks nice. DC Blades Glaurung. Who's a dragon? Right? Is Glaurung a dragon? Microtech Dirac Delta. Ooh, natural clear finish. I'll take 2, please. And a zero tolerance 0203 203 in M4. That's a beautiful knife too, man. I stopped getting ZTs because they've been so spotty, and now there are a couple I want, and that's definitely one of them. I also like that new auto, or newish auto. Lone Star Dowboy, today's carry, the Cold Steel Coben, a classic, I might add, and the Kaiser Mini Begleiter. That's also a classic at this point. Not quite as classic as the Cold Steel, but been around a while now. Ugly buildings, politicians, and whores all become respectable if they last long enough. Same thing with ugly knives. Not that the Begleiter is ugly, but the M4 940 is. Anyway, Terminator Joe says, watching Forged in Fire showed me the importance of heat treat. They had some beautiful blades with good steel shatter like glass due to the bad heat treating. Yes. And then they usually show the cross section, the area where it broke and where you can see the occlusions or whatever, or the grain structure. And they'll say, yeah, it was too hot. It was too bright and glowing, it looked like the sun when you stuck it in the oil. And yeah, that scuffle looks good, says Lou. I like where JW is headed. Me too. This JW collab thing is brilliant because Ben knows a lot of young, hip knife makers who have their finger on the pulse, and they're coming up with some cool stuff. The scuffle is the nicest thing Jack Wolf Knives has offered, in my opinion. I can't disagree, though. I love them all, some more than others. But yeah, this thing, the size also is perfect. It's so good, 3.5 inches. That is not a finger choil, people. Don't use it as such. It's a sharpening choil, but very, 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 very nice. Hero Stick says, great show on favorite ESKs this week, Bob. Oh, thank you. Was reminded how much I like the Station 9 Partisan. Such a cool knife. Stoked they are making a new run in OD Green G10, but favor that micarta on the original. I do too, but in checking out Jocks, I would say it's still definitely worth the purchase. It's pretty sweet. Maybe even a little bit lower profile with that OD Green. James Hart says, I actually went out today in my EDC bag, my standard Swiss Army knife, Gerber multi-tool, Cold Steel Voyager drop point 4-inch blade. Very nice, very, very nice. In my actual right pocket, I had my Cold Steel clip point Voyager 5.5. I love the Voyagers. To think at one point, I was like, oh, now that I have all the recons I want, I'll get rid of my Voyagers. And I started doing that and I had to backtrack and purchase a number of them back. I agree on the scuffle, says Jacob Vargas. Yes, it is cool. And this is my favorite combination of materials because, again, to me, it looks like a bit of World War II kit. And I love it. I love the way that looks. And the bronze, that subtle bronze is so nice. James says, under my left arm, hanging on a lanyard. Yeah, I like the cut of your jib, sir. My Cold Steel Safe Maker push dagger. That was this. Or no, I guess you would go smack to the face as you're reaching here. Cody Broadway says, in my opinion, the scuffle is beautiful. I usually dislike clip points because they have miles of belly and an unusable tip. Cody, what are you talking about, Cody? Well, I know why you think this one's usable because the tip is nice and low. But I hear what you're saying about a clip point that has a real upswept version, real upswept let's see, do I have any like that? I don't think. Here, like this clip point you might disagree with because of that sweep and the angle. You would have to turn it to use the tip. But remember, the tip is also being used for thrusting and that kind of thing. And when it is, to have an upswept tip, or at least a tip that's not too low, allows you to hit your mark from various angles, is what I would say if I were to argue the point. Angry Tom says, today I have my Benchmade Northern Knives blade. I want, oh, nice, from your show on my and my Sugar House knife syndicate, Finch Jackrabbit Redbone with red TPK slip. Traditional pocket knives, they have such cool stuff. The Finch knives, I kind of fell off with Finch knives, but they just keep putting out cool stuff after cool knife after cool knife, and they are great guys. And there's a watch brand now, Raven watches, I think, associated with one of the gentlemen who started Finch. And I think that's cool. I love watches. Terminator Joe says, same for the most part. But today I got the Voyager Tonto XL and the Rough Rider Reserve 2080, which is discontinued. Which one is that? Which one is that? Let me know in the comments. Obviously. Split and Slices says, carry today is the TKL Combatant. Classic. Beautiful. The Tuya knife, Skeleton Blade Works, Caledon V2. Is that like Caledon, like the Scottish battle? Tuya knife. And Rosecraft, oh boy, so bubbly. And the Rosecraft Clinch River Swayback in bourbon bone. I love everything about that, including the bourbon. Nice carry as usual, and utilitarian. Matt Lamana says, today's carry, TKL Combatant, again, love that. Resharpened to an 80 degrees, hair popping sharp. Hogue RSK, very nice. The Tops Silent Hero 4. Excuse me, Matt, I always thought the Silent Hero was a really cool design, and they brought it down to the 4-inch blade so nicely, and I don't know why I don't have that knife. Tell me why. And for ESK, the Work Tough Deer Lanzetta, man, in the waistband, holy crap, 4 o'clock, so comforting. Yeah, no kidding. So that's back here, and that's a big-ass knife. This is a nice carry. All fixed blades, but that RSK. So that's the knife you pull out to cut your sandwich in front of your work colleagues. Jacob says, definitely love a fixed blade. Me too. I mean, that's where I started, and that's where I've returned. But for many years of folder loving and collecting, I still love folders, and now I'm just a little bit more choosy about what I get. Oh, we're coming up. Let me show you a couple of other knives that Tim sent from TKL, just because I just looked at the hour. Carrying my TRM Atom today, says Hero Sticks, with rainbow trout scales. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. And a Finch 1929 in jigged crawdad bone. I have that very knife. I really like that. I like those bone handles. Love the combo for fall. Yeah, that Finch I should start carrying. I carried that one a lot when I first got it, and haven't carried a Finch at all in a while. This one Tim sent to me. This is a new one called the Nautilus. Very cool. To me, it looks like the Piranha grip, though I'm not sure if this is the Piranha grip, with a modified Night Stalker blade on it. Modified because just due to the shortness of the handle, the thumb ramp is pushed forward a little bit. Nice little knife. It's like a 3-finger knife here, and it's such a solid grip on these three with these 3 fingers. And of course, the grenade grip helps. The battle lock grips help, but just the ergonomics of this really fit the hand nicely. And if I put it in reverse grip, I can, it buries in there nicely, and I feel like it's pretty secure. Though maybe suffers on leverage ever so slightly. But if in the reverse grip, but if this indeed is a Piranha handle, I gotta ask Tim. I can get the Century grips, which is this with the ring extension, and that'll give me a little bit more grip. Beautiful. I love this thing. Nice swedge, ultra sharp. What's the blade steel on this? Not sure what the blade steel is. Ooh, I'm just noticing this now. I just opened this package right before we started rolling tonight, but look at the cracked finish on it. That is cool. He's doing a lot of cool stuff with finishing these days. Next up, I know that, next up is a new Night Stalker with the jimping. I love this. This is sweet. So the Night Stalker is what in terms of size is what basically inspired the size and sort of proportions of the 001 because I was carrying my Night Stalker so much. I was like, this is a perfect size. I like carrying it front scout for a reverse grip draw. And I love, and then I was thinking a lot about the Loveless sub-hilt fighters. And so that's where this came from, but fits in the same carry profile. And so that's a new version of the Night Stalker. It is really nice. I'm loving the changes. It's a thinner blade stock, and it's got that great jimping. I never put my pinky in holes like that, but I put my forefinger in holes like that. Works great, and it draws really well. And lastly, a 004, an Agent 004, which is so cool. There's a little blade. It's like a Puko kind of, and that hot pink. I know, I know my daughters are gonna basically say, "When you die, can I have the hot pink?" And of course, they'll have to fight over it. Either that, or actually, I think my older daughter has moved away from pink several times, has returned, but my younger daughter is rabidly pink. I got her a pretty nice pink handled knife from Blade Show that she loves. But look at that thing. Isn't that cool? What a cool blade. Nitro V, nice swedge. Got that beautiful chamfering all around. This is machined by, again, Nick Chuprin of NCC Knives out of New Hampshire. Gorgeous. And I love the way the pink looks with the black bolts. Okay, I've always hated pink, and then I had daughters and I really grew to like it. I don't like it. I don't like wearing pink shirts, and not because I feel it compromises my manliness. What could compromise my manliness after all? I just don't like the color on me. And when I was really into painting, and I went to school, went to art school, and I've done a lot of painting. I always thought, pink. What is pink? Pink is just red mixed with white. Ugh, I don't like anything mixed. I don't like mint color. I don't like baby blue. I don't like pink. I didn't like anything mixed with white. I have since loosened up a little bit and pulled the stick out of my behind, and I like it. I like it a lot. The one thing I don't like about this is that you can see it from down the block. So if you're carrying it and a little bit peeks out of your sweater or your coat or whatever, it will be seen. Whereas something like this or like this, it's going to be harder to see. But and then you've got this cool green, this zombie green, and this beautiful saturated blue. It's like a cobalt blue. Just beautiful, man. T-Kill. I love me some T-Kill. Edgy American Blade Works, Shane says, I'm in the pocket today. Mannix Rex 45. So Shane, a couple of years ago now, gave me my first Mannix, regular size Mannix, lightweight, in S1 or in S110V. And man, I cherish that knife because Shane gave it to me, but also it had an incredible edge on it, and I will never ever have to sharpen it, and I love that knife. Edgy American Blades Thug in crew wear, nice. In the Canic TTI Combat on the hip. I'm not sure I know that. I think you've mentioned that before. Better write it down. And like I said, Shane, I know that you want a Zippo they have been ordered, just as Adrian also wants one. They've been ordered, and when they get here, I will let you know. Adrian Fighter 35 says, today I had my Cold Steel Voyager Tonto Plain Edge for work, and for my ESK, my large Luzon. I like the Luzon a lot. I want to get a small one. I want, but I do. I want to get a small one because my brother just recently got one and sent me a picture of it. And I think he got it somewhere. He got it for super cheap. Oh, I think he got it on eBay actually for like 30, like $20, $27, something like that. And yeah, my brother also has the love for cold steel. Marcus says geometry, profile, steel. Okay. That's pretty good. Even though that wasn't the question, I like that. Geometry, absolutely. Profile. Yeah. Profile is so huge to me. And that's because like the looks of a knife really really mean something to me, but you can also see from the profile how it's going to feel. It's like we've all held enough knives in our hands to be intuitive, mostly to intuitively know if something's going to have good ergonomics. Lou says, Bob, did you snag the Fisher Beckwith Covert in MagnaCut? No, I have 4 Coverts, various versions of it, and no, I didn't. I'm just not. MagnaCut is not a compelling enough reason for me to get a another version of a knife. Now, those knives were sent to me from them, and they sent me some of the unicorn editions, but I know that none of them are MagnaCut. Pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. What is this? Let's see. This is, I'm not sure what this McNasty is actually. Besides sharp and double-edged. Malcolm says, carried the Manix 2 in MagnaCut and the Wii Inmate. But let me know if you got the Beckwith. I'm curious. And if you like it in whatchamacallit. So wait, the Wii Inmate, I'm sorry, Jim, can you go back real quick? Yeah. So is that a Jared Neve knife? Thank you, sir. Is that a Jared Neve knife? I'm just curious. I like some of the knives he's designed. Look really sweet, especially that Harpoon Tonto. Looks awesome. Edgy American says the Hunted has the worst military tactics in movie history. I can watch long enough to get to the knife. If I can watch long enough to get to the knife stuff. Well, I know all of the knife stuff was that was Sayak Kali, but the thing that I don't know about the military tactics, and actually I'm not exactly sure what scenes you're talking about. It's been a long time since I've seen that movie. But the thing that I always thought was I was like, why a Tom Brown tracker, or why a tracker style knife? I know he's like surviving in the woods and stuff, but I think the Tom Brown tracker, or the tracker style of knife, is cool, but when he throws it at the tree and it goes through the tree, and you pull it out, and there's that, I don't know. It just seems unlikely to me. King of Knives, nice to have you here, King of Knives. Today I had the T-Kill Striker. That's a cool one. I want the Nightshade 2 FLN and the SOG Seal XR. The SOG Seal XR. I'd love to have that folder. And the FLN is a sweet one. I have the first version of it, and I love that. Craig Vincent says today's carry was the Cold Steel 3V AD10, the XL Voyager Drop Point, the Swift 3, the Hatamoto, the Spectre Hawkbill. That's a sweetie. Pardon me. The Frenzy 3.5. The FM1, the old school CTS XHP, AK-47. It's a lot of letters there, letters and numbers, and the Lucky 2. So all cold steel carry today. I know, Craig, you're very cold steel heavy, but let's see. Yeah, AK-47 I've never had, whether it's the folder or the fixie, and I really, at one point, was like, I got to get the small one. For some reason, that small one was calling my name, but never got it, and that one went away. I know they just do the big one now. Sword XXXY says, thanks, Bob and OG. It is our pleasure. It is our pleasure, sir. Thank you for your patronage and your endless conversation. Not endless, but, your constant conversation and, always being here. We appreciate it. Colby Overhagen. Nice to have you here, Colby. My birthday also today. No kidding. October 23rd. Happy birthday, sir. Happy birthday. I hope it's a great one. I hope you spoil yourself rotten and just on this day. And yeah, I hope you have many, many more years of good health. Happy birthday, sir. Victor Blade says, today's carry was my Brown Knives Mini FSD clipped on my right. Wait, Brown Knives Mini FSD. Clipped on my right, and in my left pocket was my Great Eastern Cutlery number 77 Yankee Jack. Oh, nice, in leather slip. FSD, I know that one. I can see the blade right now. It's kind of a cleavery blade, right? Thank you, Bob, says Karen. Karen, my pleasure. My pleasure. Just let me know. Edgy American, and that's TheKnifeJunkie at gmail.com. Edgy American Blade says, Bob, we are going to give away a heathen on here when I finish them. Oh, yeah. All right. So Shane, we've done a giveaway with one of Shane's knives, and he's suggesting a second giveaway with the heathen. So I'm looking forward to that for sure. It's always nice to be able to give a gentleman junkie or a YouTube member like some very fine custom made knife. I love it. And coming right from the owner or right from the maker. That's pretty cool too. Jesse says, today I sharpened my cold steel Spetsnaz shovel. That thing is so cool. And completely sanded down the handle now for boiled linseed oil. Speaking of painting, yeah, boiled linseed oil is awesome for wood. And I have an actual Spetsnaz shovel that my brother got me years ago that he got at a gun show, and that lives in my trunk of my car. And I forget about it being there, and every once in a while I'll happen upon it, and man, the thing is so bad. Bad meaning good. Colby says, what is a popular fixed blade EDC knife these days? Funny you should ask. Actually, Colby, I was just showing off a number of TKL knives. Of course, I would highly recommend the My Design with Tim, the double-edged, or actually, if you need a single-edged, you can get a single-edged version of the Agent 001. But another very popular one is the TKL Night Stalker. This is the first one or the one that really put them on the map. This is a great knife. Highly recommend this. I have some other great fixed blade EDC knives here, though I'm not sure how popular they are because they're kind of fancy. Meaning, here, let me show you. I got a couple of customs here. I have my Kramer Customs knife, Kramer Customs Voodoo. That's an awesome one. Here is the Brock Blades Magni XL. That's a collaboration with Joe Watson. Here is the McNasty I was showing you from Fisher Blades. These are, these are kind of, I don't want to say obscure, but they're less popular. I would say the Fisher Blades is pretty popular. But I do know that these are all kind of pricey. Here's a great one that's nice and small from TKL, the Nautilus. These are all kind of pricey, Colby, and if you're just getting into fixed blade carry, these are probably not the way to go. There are so many, and now I'm drawing an absolute blank. People, let me know. Good, like I know Kaiser makes a bunch of good ones, and Civivi makes a bunch of good ones. I mean, a lot of companies make good. You caught me off guard, man. So in the comments, in the chat, please let Colby know some good EDC fixed blades that are not a heavy investment, because when you're first getting into it, you're not sure if you actually are going to carry them. So You want to go a little bit lighter. Okay, check out Javon. Check out his videos, Juvon, knife picks, I think. And then who else has a whole series on inexpensive fixed blade EDC knives is Stasa23. He's got a bunch of information on that too. So check those guys out. Dylan says, Bob, I'm working on changing that, bro. Been grinding knives this week and getting better talking on camera. Hey, man, soon, hopefully, whenever, I'll be here. Let's make it happen at some point. That'd be awesome because you and I have spoken briefly at Blade shows, and I know that we'd have a great conversation. So do let me know. HCL Salt, good to have you here, Salt. Gout, damn, Henry VIII over here. Hey man, it's everywhere. You don't just have to be Henry VIII to get gout's not just for Henry VIII anymore. Yeah. They say it was a king's. They think that sometimes it's caused by excessive red meat and or wine and alcohol and stuff, but I don't think that's the case. Definitely not in my family. I'm probably the one who drinks the most in my family, and I'm not even going to say it, but I know my brother and my dad, it's not from that. So they used to call it a rich man's disease, I think, because of the red meat and the alcohol and all that. Terminator Joe says, Glock isn't the problem. The politicians enabling criminality to virtue signal is the problem. For sure, but Glock should not be so willing to change their lineup for California. They should be running ads constantly, calling out the craziness, in my opinion. Jeremy Nedro, nice to see you here, Jeremy. I work in the woods myself. I've been an arborist for the last 20 years. Wow, that's cool. I love trees. So that doesn't make me an arborist. That makes me arborist adjacent. Edgy American Blade says Glock sells some of the most expensive horse sperm in the world. That's with an E. It's an E. And they have the horse sperm catalog. Yes. An American father says, I prefer carbon steel, but I have stainless blades that I love. However, I can make a knife work regardless of steel type. No matter the materials, I have a nightly tool maintenance ritual. That's cool. That's like a soldier would, or a Marine, presumably. I am neither, but I imagine they clean their weapons quite a bit just to keep them so that when you need them, they work. Couple more minutes here. 1931 Leatherwork says, given those Jack Wolf choices, I would pick a GEC or case. Fair enough. I love the GECs. They're my favorite. Sorry. SPERM. That's embarrassing since I was the here for sperm business. Was in the, what is that? I don't know. I don't know what that is. But I can tell you what, I'm not going to look it up. King of Knives says, probably lock action steel if it's got, type of horse. Okay. If it's got a horrible lock, I'll never use it. And I'm less likely to use it if it has horrible action. Steel doesn't matter much unless it's super crappy. I agree. Jesse says, it's amazing how far people will reach to justify overpriced knives made out of cheaper steels when they are manufacturers who pinch pennies. It's obviously going to happen. You know who, that's one time where I spent a lot of money on a knife and it was in 14C. I was like, I just couldn't abide that. And also the basket weave carbon fiber. It was the Southern Grind large monkey, whatever it was called, crazy monkey or whatever, bad monkey. Cool knife, like everything about it I liked except for the fact that I paid 200 and something for it for 14C28N, and the basket weave carbon fiber just I don't know, just couldn't stand it. Hereford calf. Okay. Thank you. Oh my God. Okay, I'll check that out. An American father says, I have experienced things out here that have scared the shit out of me and my dog, both. Recently, it happened in the middle of the day. There are things in the woods that we do not fully understand. I knew it, and I should say I know that with our limited ability to see, we could see a very, very, very slender spectrum of what is visible, and with our arrogance in thinking we know everything, I believe it when people say stuff like that. But it's cool to hear it from a professional who's been in the woods for 50 years. Um, that's interesting. Thanks for sharing that. Jacob Vargas says today's carry the TKEL Agent 003 and the TKEL DP1. Guys, I got to be up in 5 hours to go to work. So we're going to wrap this up. Cesario says a little long for a necker, but I got my TKEL adversary with my transparent topographical sheath. Oh, cool. Around my neck. Just finished the paracord braid. Well, I'm glad we were here to fill your ears with awesome knife information while you braided that. That's cool. And I love the idea of the transparent topo sheath. Jesse says the 001 is the highest on my wish list out of any blade. Jesse, thank you so much, man. I take that as a compliment. Thank you. And I hope you get one. Check them out November 1st or become a gentleman junkie to possibly win one here. Cat Scratch says, hello, everybody. And I say to you, hello and good night, Cat Scratch. Great to see you as always. It is that time, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. I love you all. I love these conversations we have. On Sunday, episode 635 with American Bladesmith Society apprentice Jeff Schaefer, Schaefer Knives. You probably saw Rolando Escotada's recent video of the big fighting Bowie chopper. So cool. He's the knife maker. Great guy. We had an awesome conversation. So definitely check that one out. Also, you might see that we're at 42,000 subs, and actually we're edging close. We're getting close to 43. When we get to 50,000, Dirk Pinkerton will make us a custom knife to give away. And just as a not for nothing, my sister just bought a custom kitchen knife from him, chef's knife. That's beautiful. He just recently posted it on Instagram, and she's giving it to a close friend. So there you go. Thought you might want to know. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Have an awesome weekend, and be safe. Have a wonderful time. For Jim working his magic behind the switcher, I'm Bob DeMarco saying, until next time, don't take dull for an answer.